Hey, LifeGate family. One of the things that we love about collectives in homes is that we are becoming a people who walk with Jesus in everyday life around real tables with real friends. And so this is certainly not a class or a lecture by any stretch of the imagination. It's a place to belong and be formed together and not just attend. So over the last 3 weeks, we explored play in communion, community, and commitment. Now we're going to take a deeper look in what play actually looks like. So here is how to engage this. You watch a short teaching, then pause to play a game and talk, and a little later you'll watch a conversation between a few of us and then talk again. So put your phones down, lean in, and actually play. Do not skip the game. You are not here to be impressive, you are here to be present, and with play, the practice is the point.
When I was a kid, there was a corner cabinet in our kitchen filled with all of my favorite things. Everything creative was stored in there. We had paint and markers and crayons and colored pencils and glue and sequins, ribbon and feathers, you name it, craft supplies galore. And I remember laying out newspaper all across the kitchen table and just going to town, creating things, playing, making. And now, my mom was pretty creative, but the impulse to create wasn't just something she taught me. It truly was instinctive. In Genesis 1, God creates. First the world, then everything that fills it, and then us. Us in his image. God is the original creator. But why? The craziest reality of life with God is that he didn't create out of necessity. In so many other religions, the creation of humankind serves a purpose, to work or worship or serve the gods. In Babylon, humans were created to take on the labor of the gods. In many mythologies, they were created to keep a deity company. Even in Islam, the stated purpose of human creation is to worship Allah. But Genesis is different. God creates and just says it is good. Not it's useful or productive or purposeful even. And now don't hear what I'm not saying. Humankind is all of those things. But that's not the point of creation. Michael Reeves, in his book Delighting in the Trinity, makes the point that our God didn't need us, and yet he made us anyway. Jesus in John 17 prays to the Father saying that you loved me before creation. And so before anything was created, there was God, Father, Son, and Spirit, existing in this perfect union, which means there was love before creation, there was a way of relationship, there was joy, and so creation flowed out of this. God created as an act of love. At its very core, play is an act of love. Creation for the sake of joy. Play is one of the purest expressions of creating with no outcome other than joy. So much of adult life is shaped by productivity, and we've forgotten what it means to make something for the sake of goodness. To be made in his image is to be made for creation, not just consumption. Play recovers our creative imago Dei and reminds us that not everything we make has to be useful. Somewhere along the way, we stopped creating like that. We stopped making things just because they were good, stopped singing unless we were good enough to be heard. We stopped drawing unless someone would praise it. We stopped playing unless we could win. And I wonder if part of what happened is that we stopped believing that goodness was enough. But in Genesis 1, before there was a marketplace, before there's a resume, before there's a platform, before there is a grade or an audience, God creates and calls it good. When we play, we are creating a world that is focused on good, not just useful. Play is not escapism or immaturity or wasting your life. Play is holy participation in creating goodness without needing to justify it by its usefulness. It's joy without apology. Play is what happens when the beloved children of God stop trying to prove their worth and start participating in the goodness of God. Because this is the life Jesus lives, not just one bent on productivity. Jesus comes to live this embodied and playful life. He comes eating and drinking. He comes feasting at weddings. He comes to play with kids. He comes telling stories. And it's no surprise that a God who creates to say it is good is the same God who sent Jesus to perform his first miracle, turning water into wine. We might think that play is childish, or maybe we feel guilty because it's not productive, or maybe we're just too tired to play. But the invitation of play is to declare that goodness is real, that joy is possible, and that we were created to create. And so what does it look like to recover play? Make something that doesn't need to be excellent. Do something you're bad at and refuse to be embarrassed. Cook a meal slowly. Paint with your kids, throw a football, dance in the kitchen, read fiction, laugh with your friends, take the long way home. Let yourself be a creature who reflects the Creator, who blesses, delights, creates, and calls it good. Hey guys, welcome to Collectives in Homes session 4. We are here talking about play. And so we are kicking this series off with play as an act of creation. That's what we saw in Genesis 1. But before we get into that, guys, when was the last time you actually played?
Yeah, the last time I played, I ripped my pec.
What kind of play were you doing? Can I ask that?
Yeah, a little jujitsu. The deadly art of jujitsu. No, I train just up the street, and that's why I asked if sport is play, and I enjoy it. There's just something about trying to kill another human being that brings me joy. I can't explain it. It's like Fight Club,
All right,
you know?
you have a twisted sense of play.
I know.
But to each their own.
It makes me a better human, for
We
sure.
love that.
Yeah.
We love that. Play does make us better humans, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time would have been definitely we, as a family, we decided to all go for a bike ride.
Yeah.
So we pulled out our bikes, and it's our first ride of the season. So it took a little while to get everyone's bike like functional, but we just rode around the neighborhood and meandered because there was no course, there was no route or anything, and it was great fun because my kids both they just there's such a thrill to just coasting with the wind and everything. Like, yeah, it was
That's a
great
way
fun.
later answer.
I drove trucks into dinosaurs, so that was the last time.
Wait,
we
what?
did that.
Yeah, in her office. In
I
your
sat
office,
on the
right?
floor with one of my friend's kids, and we drove trucks into dinosaurs. So,
just crushing the dinosaurs.
just destroying them. What do you think? Because I think for many of us, we lose play along the way somewhere. It becomes, and maybe we don't stop altogether, but it becomes a little more difficult. It becomes less of a priority, perhaps. But what do you think for you in this season, or just throughout sort of adulthood, has gotten in the way of playing?
I definitely I feel as though I don't laugh as much as I used to.
Yeah.
And I'm more serious. And certainly there are seasons for that.
Right.
But just to like surrender and let go and be silly and not care
Right.
about how I present, how I appear, how even in the family.
Right.
Just to be ridiculous and embrace ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that definitely keeps me from playing more.
Right. And why do you think, what makes it hard to embrace ridiculousness now versus,
Probably the feeling that I'm supposed to be more responsible. I have responsibilities. I've got to be productive.
Right.
I've got a 10 million line to-do list that
Right.
never ends.
Right.
There's always something more that I can produce, that I can do, that I can achieve, that I can show for my time.
right.
There's and it's that value of thinking that play isn't valuable.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now it's an injury. But
That's fair.
interestingly enough, before I found Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it was trying to figure out what play actually looks like.
Right.
And so
Right.
now
Yeah.
I can't go do that. What does play look like for me now?
Right.
And that's what
Right.
keeps me from doing it. I don't know what else I like.
So some of it's an imagination problem.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and do
Yeah.
I have the money to go try something else? Do I
Right.
have the time?
Yep. Yep.
so that's really it. I just don't know what else I'd like.
Right. Right. Because I think there's something about play that it feels like there has to be a purpose to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm playing in order to rest or in order to stay fit or be a healthier human, or like it there almost feels like it needs a goal. And I think that's the beauty of Genesis 1 is when God creates, he doesn't look at his creation and say, "Oh, that's really useful. That's really productive.
Yeah.
That's really we need that. That's purposeful."
Well, that's when it stops being play,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And that's the thing I'm saying is, if it starts feeling like a chore, I don't
Right.
do it.
Right.
I'm already working, so
Right.
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 And I
So
think
why not play?
yeah, and I think a lot of people are stuck in that. How do I make this feel like it's not a chore?
Right. Or on the other side, how do I make this feel like it matters? Like it's
Benefit,
it's productive or it's useful. Like
right.
so I think we get caught on one extreme or the other a lot. Well, you both have kids, and so you're around kids a lot, but tell me, what do they know about play that we've forgotten?
I think silliness
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
my youngest, my oldest is 13, so he's trying to be cool now.
Right.
But my youngest will grab a box, and the things he does with them, he's just laughing uncontrollably. Like, hey man, what are you doing? He's like, none, man, just playing with his box. I'm
Right,
amazed
right.
that he could find so much joy in a piece of cardboard
Right.
that housed the thing I ordered from Amazon that brought me joy. But
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, I think that freedom and like the lightness of a day, like
Right.
especially after they get home from school, my kids have learned to entertain themselves and imagine, but there's a safety at home where, all right, he's gonna hate me sharing this, but even my 16-year-old can imagine and play and with his little sister
Yeah.
create stories and there's a natural wonder, a freedom to imagine and create. There's room and space for it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that too often that gets lost in responsibility as an adult.
Right.
amen.
Right.
But they'll build forts.
Yeah.
There are forts,
Yeah.
and they grab the couch, the
Right.
cushions,
yeah.
and to my chagrin, the first thing I'm thinking about, this is a white couch. I paid a lot of hurt. You're gonna get dirt on
That
this
feels
white.
like that's on you, man.
It's
You have kids and you bought a white couch.
that's right.
But when you ask, what have we forgotten?
Right,
I think we've
right.
forgotten that everything is just stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know,
just
money's
a
just
thing.
money.
Yeah.
Some of these things matter, but they keep us from entering into moments and
right.
memories.
Well, they put pressure on play. They put pressure on creating things, and I think that's at the heart of God's design for play, is that it doesn't have to have the pressure, the striving, the usefulness.
Yeah.
And so, if God really created out of love, like he created us, he didn't have to have us, he didn't need us, he created out of love. How does that shift how you play?
Well, one, I think, and this is me personally, everything I do, like my shadow side is acceptance. I want to be accepted. And so when I shift to a place of, no, I'm accepted already, I'm already loved,
Yes.
I don't really care what
Right.
others think about
Right.
what I'm doing. I don't care
Right.
about being judged. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And so I could care less about outcomes. I could
Right.
care less about consequence.
Yes. Yep.
And really just live in the moment.
Right.
I think that living in the moment is a huge key ingredient to play. Because I remember growing up playing, and my parents would kick me outside the door, and hours would
Yeah.
disappear.
Right,
You just lose
right.
track of time.
Yeah.
It's called the 80s. They were awesome.
They were odd. I mean, we when the sun set, that's when we had to come back into the house, and there were no boundaries, no rules. But just being present in the moment, that's how time gets lost.
Right.
And I find myself being so time oriented now.
Right.
Needing to get to the next thing, or oh no, I only have this much time. And I think the freedom of time unlocks a lot of imagination.
Right.
That's where I watch my kids lose themselves in whatever they're doing and they're creating. And
Right.
my daughter will sit there with, glitter is the bane of my wife Tina's existence, but she'll have glue and glitter and paper and all kinds of things. She'll have scissors and she just loses herself.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think those two things combined, like really what you're talking about of like the identity piece of like living out of the Imago Dei instead of whatever we place on that, and releasing the stress of a time bound reality that we live in. I think the marriage of those two things really frees us in a lot of ways. And I don't think we can play without freedom.
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to find a place to play, a place to create without pressure, without freedom. Jonathan, for you, you're a creative by trade, and so
By trade, yes.
So
Thank you.
So when does that feel like play, and when does it feel more like work?
Yeah, that's actually I'm still trying to figure that out.
Right.
You know, for 20 years it was all music.
Yeah.
And so everything I wrote,
Right.
everything I produced, everything was tied to payment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've had to try to find other creative elements that have nothing to do with
Right.
music,
Yep.
with art, design, which leaves very little, very, very little. But what I have found is, believe it or not, is academic writing.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
Totally.
It's,
No.
but even that, because I'm in school, so
So there's
I don't.
a grade attached to
I,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer for you.
Right,
I
right.
and I think part of that is me.
Yeah.
I'm a hard 3 on the Enneagram, and I'm sorry if you think the Enneagram is from the devil. But everything's about achievement and how
Right.
I look, and so I am in the process. And so if you have good advice, please let me know. I'm sorry, I didn't even answer your point. Felt like therapy.
Yeah, that's perfect. But I think that's all the time we have for today. But thanks so much for joining us. That is the truth, is that we are in process here. And so as we have these conversations, the goal is not answers. The goal is not for us to have play figured out and managed. The goal is for us to have spiritual conversations about life with God together so that we can walk in this made alive life as a community. And so we're so glad that you joined us on session 4 of Collectives in Homes, and we will see you next time.
Let's go play.